My name is Sarah Collins. I have been a nurse for 11 years. I have seen things in hospitals that most people never see. I have held the hands of people taking their last breath. I have watched families fall apart in waiting rooms. I have learned to keep my face calm, even when everything inside me is not. I thought I had seen everything. Then I was assigned to Floor 9. Floor 9 was different from the moment you stepped out of the elevator, quieter than the other floors. The light was the same. The walls were the same color. The smell of antiseptic was the same. But something in the air felt different, heavier, like the floor itself was holding its breath. Room 9 was at the very end of the hallway, last door on the left, always slightly cooler than the rest of the floor. The other nurses never talked about it directly, but I noticed things. The way they avoided that end of the hallway when they did not need to be there. The way they handed off Room 9 patients to each other quickly, without making eye contact, without explaining why. On my third day on Floor 9, a senior nurse named Patricia pulled me aside. She was a small woman with kind eyes and very steady hands. She had worked that floor for 19 years. "I need to tell you something about Room 9, she said quietly. I waited. "The patients in that room talk," she said. "All patients talk," I said. She shook her head slowly. "Not like this." The first patient I cared for in Room 9 was a man named Gerald, 74 years old, lung cancer, stage 4. He had been transferred from another hospital. His family had stopped visiting 3 weeks before I met him. He never mentioned them. He never asked for them. He just lay in that bed, looking at the ceiling, with the expression of a man doing complicated math in his head. On my second night checking on him, he turned his head and looked directly at me. His eyes were very clear for a man so sick. "I need to tell you something," he said. I pulled a chair close. "When I was 32, he said quietly, I found out my business partner was stealing from our company, small amounts at first, then larger ones. He had 3 children, a sick wife. I knew why he was doing it." He paused. "I reported him anyway. He went to prison, lost everything. His wife died while he was inside. His children grew up in the system." The room was completely silent. "I told everyone I did it because it was right," Gerald said. "The honest thing, the principled thing." His eyes stayed on the ceiling. "But the truth was, I did it because I wanted the company for myself. The principle was just a costume I put on the decision." He turned to look at me again. "I have never told anyone that. Not my wife, not my children, not my priest." He looked almost lighter after saying it, like something had been set down that had been carried a very long time. I did not know what to say, so I just held his hand, and that felt like enough. Gerald passed away 4 days later, peacefully, that same look on his face, like a man who had finally finished the math. I thought about what he had said for days afterward. Why had he told me? Why then? Why in that room? I mentioned it carefully to Patricia. She nodded slowly, like she had been waiting for me to bring it up. "It happens with all of them," she said simply. "All of them?" I said. "Every patient who stays more than 2 nights in Room 9. She poured herself a coffee. "They confess." I started paying closer attention. A woman named Margaret, 68, heart failure. On her third night, she told me she had let her sister take the blame for something Margaret had done when they were teenagers. The sister had been sent away. They never fully recovered their relationship. The sister died 7 years ago, thinking Margaret had never known. Margaret had always known. She had just never been brave enough to say it. Until room 9.